everyone, welcome to Romance Book Monsters. It's your girl Lollipop here with Kitty Boom.
Hi guys.
And today we are talking about Back to Love by Shy Violet. It is a novella. It's a billionaire story, teacher, student, trifling people. It's a short book, quick read. And there's some good things about this one, and there's a few sucky things about this one. So we're going to jump right in. Good thing. Boy, he really decided. I was like, great. You started your company with your boys, your brother, your friends. Y'all created this great app, all this goodness, making all the money. Picture kind of like a
PayPal.
It was like PayPal, but it was also like you could sell stuff. It was like a little bit of everything. So it was like a PayPal / eBay / situation, kind of a little bit of Amazon sprinkled in, but it was the app that everybody was using. And, he married this woman. He married her to help him navigate this life. Because this is a life. He came from a working class life, didn't know nothing. In the book, we find, he realizes as his son is acting a fool to his private tutor. He was like, where have I been? I'm like, sir, where have you been the last 5 years? You just realized your kid was a problem? Where you been? And then the soon-to-be ex-wife, who I get is the ex-wife by the time we really get into the book. She's like, oh, we don't send him to boarding school. I was like, ¿por qué? Your 5-year-old to boarding school? That's what's done. Like, I'm like, ma'am, she only got pregnant because it was expected. And I'm sitting here like, man, this is a life I'm not used to here. It was basically a political marriage, we'll call it, right? It was a business marriage. So that's the right term. I think of business marriage. And this lady is like, you expect me to raise this child?
I didn't sign up for that.
Sign up for this.
We're going to send them off to school and they're going to raise me for the next 13
exactly. years. What do you mean we can't go on vacation? Send him to school. It's like, wow, this is what we're doing. This is the life of the rich and famous. Okay.
The super rich.
Super rich and famous. Yeah, and he's super divorced her. And so now he is a single billionaire, I guess stay-at-home dad, because he ain't working. Take his kid to school. His eyes see his son's new teacher. And bam, he's like, I'll sign up to be room parent. He's like, I'm going to get close to this teacher. This is what's going to be up. And then we have a little bit of problem with the story after that, at least on my mind. I felt that the little antagonist, the bad guy in the situation, which was the typical racist teacher, I felt like that was just thrown in there to give it a little bit of angst that I don't even necessarily know if the story even needed, because really and truly, you could take that whole thing out and it wouldn't have made no difference in the way the story went.
It would not have.
So I was like, I wish if you're going to put a bad guy in there, put a bad guy that can really move the story in a direction that we would notice. Yeah. What are your thoughts, Kitty?
Like talking about it in the first couple of minutes makes me actually want to reread the story and give it another chance. Mm-hmm. Because during the first reading, I don't know, I didn't love the story. Mm-hmm. Like I really liked certain parts of it, but like the overall trope of like the parent, hooking up with the teacher, and it's like, okay, in my mind, it was like, okay, like I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. Is she gonna get fired? Like, what is the policy on this? Like, I hate when that's not like explained like in the beginning, so I can just enjoy the story.
No, my thing was, I'm not 100% sure, but did they bang in the classroom?
They did.
Okay, because I was like, did I miss them leaving?
Yes. During the school carnival, they did bang in the classroom. I was very disturbed by that scene. Not the fact that they had sex in the classroom, the fact that, okay, the single parent, he brings his 5-year-old to the school carnival now. And then the little boy runs off with his twins, and here he is. He disappears with the school teacher to go have sex in the classroom. Who's watching this 5-year-old boy?
Thank you. That was my.
That was just like so distracting for me.
I thought the same thing too. I was like, did they leave the carnival? Did I miss something? Did she omit something by mistake? And then when I found out now they're still in the school because then they go get the. I'm like.
I was like, is this the kind of school event where you drop your kid off? Because it did not seem that way.
Mm-hmm. But I guess because the teachers were there, I'm assuming there was teacher supervisors.
But I mean, like,
but it's still not like where you drop off at, though.
I mean, here you have this one teacher, she done completely disappeared. So who knows what the other teachers are doing?
You ain't wrong, because I was like, what happened?
And the teachers weren't even required to be there. So there were less teachers than there normally would be doing like a regular like school day.
That's what, and I was just sitting there like, yeah, 100% agree. That part did not sit right. Because I'm like, somebody could have took, he's a billionaire. Somebody could have took his kid and ran.
Like, I think I almost would have like loved the story better if maybe she was another single parent.
That would have been cute.
But we can't rewrite this author's story.
We can't.
And I feel bad that I always feel bad when I don't like love a book. But you know me, like I'm so particular sometimes about different like themes and tropes that it really like irks me to the point where I really just can't get into the book. And the fact that they like her job was really like connected to like her behavior at work, it really like irked me that I'm like, I don't know policy.
I think, right. And I think my big thing was she mentioned a lot about when she worked at a public school with lacking of resources and how it's great because there's resources here. But I'm just like.
So it's like this job is like super important to you and you're going to risk it with this guy. Mind you, I understand the temptation. You know, this man sounds fine and he's a billionaire, so who would not be tempted? And I mean, he's such a caring person that, you know, he saw a problem with his child and he completely changed his lifestyle in order to accommodate being a better father. So, I mean, you got to appreciate that like aspect of him also, but it's just like, still like, this is your job.
Right.
So if he would have said in the beginning, like, you know, like he ended up saying like towards the end of the book that he was going to talk to the principal about it and like clear it. If he would have did that in the beginning, like on the low, I probably would have enjoyed the book.
And let me tell you, the principal was not going to tell him no. He done donated this multi-million-dollar building to get his son in there anyway.
Yeah, the principal was not going to say a word.
And as I said, that one random racist teacher, I was just like, can we not do this? I'm over the trope of that. I mean, I don't mind having antagonists who just don't like her because she's pretty. But can we just, I mean, we deal with racism every day. Can I just not? One day.
But, you know, I think it still would have been a thing with at least one of her coworkers,
even of course,
the same race. Because here you probably had the teachers were eyeballing this billionaire, take me away from teaching these bad rich kids all day long.
Which is true. But
that's the thing, like, dang, my coworker done won the man lottery.
But that's the thing, though. It's like, I could totally see it being more of jealousy and envy.
Yeah.
And jealousy because she's gorgeous. He's filthy rich and good looking. The racism is just, I guess, the bow. It could have been the bow on it, but it didn't have to necessarily, because again, it served no purpose in the story. It didn't change her behavior and it didn't change anything. And nor did the teacher even get in trouble? Teacher didn't even get in trouble for none of it.
Yeah.
So it was like, well, what was the purpose? Like, she didn't even tell him so that he could go to the principal. Like, he was going to the principal anyway. He might as well talk about the racist teacher too.
Well, you know, since they're like on equal footing, like she could have told that teacher off herself.
But there's that too. So I'm like, you tell us this, but she does nothing about it.
Right.
So you might as well have not told it to us, because all she did was like, oh, this person's racist, basically.
Right. And I'm sure like in the HR of all things, like in real life, there must be like some listing about, fraternizing with like teachers and parents and whatnot in the handbook, if it is or not. So you like know like how you're supposed to handle it.
Right. But the way she mentioned it in the story was like, this person's been racist to her before.
Yeah.
It was not a new thing.
Everybody at the school was.
Right. So she was already in an uncomfortable position, but she didn't want to go back to where she didn't want to go back to the old school because of lack of resources, which I totally understand. But also, why would you want to be in a hostile work situation?
Yeah.
Well? If everybody in the school is racist to you, why would you want to stay there? That's not, I know you know, and it's not like you're saying, oh, I love the kids.
Well, I think in her case, it was such that she had like such a love for the actual act of teaching for like so long. Like at least within that, it's like how much does a teacher interact with other teachers? Probably between bells and during lunch hour.
That's true.
So
that's true, unless they have a project that they have to work on together.
Right. So I mean, the rest of her actual workday is spent like actually teaching. And in this private school, she gets to actually teach instead of like having to deal with the lack of funds and the social issues that comes up in a, in a public school.
I understand.
So I can definitely see why she would stay, which I was like, I don't know why you messing with this man. I was like, at least wait until the school year is over.
Wait a few months, dang.
Oh, and what I did love about this book was the little single parents group.
They were hilarious.
I love the single parents group. So he shows up the first day of school with the kid, drops him off, and there are these stragglers, and they're like, are you one of us? A single parent. And he's like, yeah. They're like, when she comes trying to get them to volunteer, they're like, don't pay attention to her. Like, don't look at her in the eye.
No eye contact.
And once he volunteers, they're like, did you not get our hints? Once they get you, they try to keep you. They want to suck the life out of you. It was hilarious. I love the single parents group.
You know what? She could have did a series around that group of people.
They really could have. Like, yeah, all of them should find love.
I like that idea, actually.
Yeah.
One of the women could end up with his brother.
Yes.
His brother's single and ready to mingle.
Going to do though, but I mean, it's a book. It can happen quickly.
Single and ready to mingle.
Yes.
His brother's a hoe.
Like, yeah, bring the boy on the boat, on the yacht with the thoughts. For Christmas.
Hot mess. Well, so I mean, I'd give it, I'm stuck between a 2.5 and a 3. Like, because there's some parts of the book that as you even mentioned, that I really, really, really enjoyed. But there's other parts that irk me. So you know what? Because as we're here talking about some of these really good parts, I'm gonna give it a 3. I'm gonna give it a
3.5, and because I take into the consideration that, and that's just because I didn't like the trope. If it was like, again, if it was like the character was like another single parent or like somebody else, like I probably would have enjoyed it like much more. But I also recognize that it is a novella and it appears to be like a part of a large collaborative between several authors type series. So I'll take that into account too.
Okay. All right.
But I'm going to check out like this author, like in her, like a book by herself, not as a part of a collaborative, and see how I like that.
Yeah, I just randomly discovered this author on one of my Facebook groups, and it's been on my Kindle since February. And I was like, okay, it's time to read this book. Yeah. Which great thing is Kindle Unlimited. If you have Kindle Unlimited, boom, give it a try. Let us know what you think, what you like, what you dislike. Your opinions. Have you read anything else by this author? And as you know, hit us up with your recommendations, because we're always looking for more authors, because there's so many great authors out there who are undiscovered, and we definitely want to read more and more of them. Don't forget to like, subscribe, ring that bell to get that notification for when we drop new videos. We do drop new video every week, and definitely check us out. Anything from you, Kitty?
Nope, you said it all.
I try. Well, stay blessed. We'll talk to you soon.
See you later.